My name's Harry.
My name's Ava.
And this is HD Effect. And this is episode 2 of our podcast series. And today we're going to be talking about
Fitness.
Right. To kick us off, our first question for today is, how did you get about going into fitness?
So how did I get into fitness? I guess I wouldn't say from a young age, but at least from secondary school, I was pretty active. I used to do dance, which I think I think it's my fun fact because a lot of people wouldn't think I was a dancer. Not so much now, but that was my way of keeping active.
Yeah.
And I think dance is actually one of the best ways of working out, because you can actually enjoy it as you go along. For me, for example, right now, my main form of fitness is going to the gym. But had I started doing that then, I probably wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. So yeah, I did dance at school, and then university, I did sign up to the gym, but I didn't really make it there.
Yeah.
I probably only went like a handful of times.
Yeah.
Again, I did continue doing dance societies through uni. So that was my way of staying active. Then I graduated, moved back home. COVID happened. No one really moved around as much. And then it's only, I would say consistently in the last 2-3 years, that's when I've started really getting into fitness. And it's been sort of a slow progression.
Yeah.
So yeah, and at the moment, my main form of fitness is going to the gym. I do take some classes here and there, but...
Do you want to elaborate on the classes? What classes do you do?
So I would say right now, I'm keeping it basic and just going to the gym. I do take some Pilates classes here and there. Last year, I did sort of experiment a lot more with the type of classes I went to. I picked up a bit of boxing for a bit, and then that kind of fell off. I think the main issue with me is staying consistent with something. And yeah, last year, even though it was nice experimenting and trying new things, I probably tried to do a lot more than I could actually pick up or do, along with my actual like normal working schedule. So yeah, at the moment, it's only really Pilates classes and just going to the gym. A lot of weight training at the moment as well.
How much do you do weight training per week?
I would say for 2 to 3 times.
That's a decent amount.
Yeah, I would really like to go more frequently, but it would really depend on my week.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to balance your weight training as well as work schedule. It's kind of like you just have to pick and choose when you can go gym, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. How did you get into fitness?
I got into fitness from doing karate from a young age. So I started doing karate in tooting around 7 years old, 7 years old. So I did karate for about 10 years, got a black belt. And that's probably the most like intense amount of fitness I've ever done ever. Purely through like the amount of regular sessions I was going to. I was pretty much training 4 or 5 times a week, with gradings, assessments, like going to other seminars, etc. So that was the most intensive period in my younger-ish, from like 7 to 16. So I got my black belt at 16. And then ever since then, I haven't really found something that's been that intensive, apart from maybe football nowadays. So I play football twice. At one point, it was 4 times a week. But at the moment, because of work and how things are, I'll go football twice a week. And yeah, so I'd say karate and football are my 2 biggest fitness ventures I've been on, as well as starting the gym at school when I was in year 10. It's just the first time ever. And I couldn't really lift anything. And now, like, I've been in and out of training. It's not very consistent progress, but I've been in and out of training.
How did you actually first get into going to the gym? Like, did you kind of just tag along with one of your friends, or how were you sort of introduced into that?
Yeah, well, my dad had a couple spare like dumbbells and weights at home, like with barbells and stuff. So he was always into it. But I properly got into it when I was at school with my friends at school. So we had a gym in our school. So we went there like pretty much every morning. So I remember this specifically in year 12 and 13. So every morning because I get to school quite early, like 7:30, so I'll bring a spare change of clothes, go to the gym from 7:30 to about 8, get changed, like have something small to eat, and then get ready for form time at like 7:30. So definitely the gym journey, quote unquote, gym journey began in school. Began at home, but it kind of flourished and sort of stuck with me from about 17, 18 onwards.
It's interesting because I feel like recently gym culture definitely has sort of exponentially grown to the point where everyone's like, oh, I need to go gym. But then they don't really understand or have a sort of schedule or a structure around what they're actually doing in the gym. How important do you think it is to have a structure in place when you're going to the gym?
I think when you're going to the gym for the first time, I think you can be battling with the overwhelming feeling of not knowing what you're doing in the gym is actually quite a hard thing to prepare for, because you generally don't know what you're doing, what weight is what, how your form is, what sort of food to eat. You don't know how many times you should work out. And it's something that I've had to battle with myself in terms of my diet plan or my fitness plan. I think the workouts, every level is tailored for a certain way. So for example, if you're a beginner, you can only do so much as a beginner and like work towards making slight improvements to get better. So yeah, I can see why. Yeah, I'll definitely say different levels apply to different stages of the gym journey you're at. Some advanced lifters might even train regularly just for the aesthetics. So you got power lifters. Usually got people just that want to do functional training just with kettlebells. So it's very dependent on what you want to do as a person, how you want to train, and how often you want to train, and what level you are as well. That definitely varies from person to person. The question was, back to you, how important is it to have a structured routine / regimen, depending on what level you're at?
I think it's very important. And it's only recent that they realize how important it is. I think for quite a lot of time when I went to the gym initially, I would just get there and be like, what am I training today? I don't really know. And then I would just kind of train whatever I felt like training that day. But now I'm like, okay, let's actually have a structure in place. Because one, you're wasting time. Like if you don't know what you're going to do there, you're probably just standing around, just looking at the different machines. Like you said, a bit overwhelmed by the number of things there. So if you know what you're training before you even get to the gym, it allows you to have a bit more control about, okay, look, I'm just going to do this machine and this machine, or like, and also it's all about, I believe in just keeping it like almost like a minimalistic approach, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to, if you're doing upper body, you don't have to do like all the 10 upper body machines.
100, yeah.
Like just keep to maybe even 3 machines for one workout and do like a couple of sets for each. And that's enough. I think when you're, especially early on in your gym journey, there's a sort of feeling that you need to do more to see results. And that's not the case.
Yeah. How often do you reckon a beginner should train?
It really depends. Like,
just a disclaimer, it's not fitness advice, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. This is from our own personal journeys of the fitness that we're currently doing and what we've seen in the past. We're not offering any advice. This is just from our own experiences. Just
learning from experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think for a beginner, it really depends like how much of a beginner you are. Like if you're going from 0 exercise to going to the gym, I think starting off with maybe 2 workouts a week. Also, it depends what your goal is. What are you trying to achieve? Having a goal in mind also really helps you to understand what to focus on as well. Because again, that overwhelming feeling of just like, I need to do everything all at once. And then that will push you to go out to the gym more, which might seem productive because you're like, oh yeah, I feel good, I'm going to the gym. But that means you're tiring out your body, your muscles, and you're not giving yourself enough time to recover and things like that. So there's a lot of things to consider, but I would say just to start, go maybe like 2 times a week.
To add to that, I think one of the big things that I feel like when people who are just starting out are struggling with the gym is they try, well, me and myself included, sometimes I feel like I want to do everything all at once. And that also adds to the overwhelming fear / overwhelming feeling of, oh, I need to do everything, but I'm not there yet. I think one of the biggest things you can do is taking one step, one day at a time. Even if you're getting like regular movement breaks / movement just times in the day where you're moving at least an hour a day.
Yeah.
That probably is the most recommended if you're a complete beginner and you're not done any exercise before. But I would suggest 100% taking it very lightly, very easily first, get to the point where you're very consistent, and then you want to think about making the progressive overloads, as the term is, where you just gently make improvements in your training. So to be consistent, you have to just take one step at a time. You can't just go from 0 to 100 straight away. So I think consistency requires some form of discipline in your workouts. So my question to you is, how do you handle days where you don't feel like working out, but you still go anyway? And do you?
I think I focus more on how I feel after the workout than how I feel right now. Because I might feel demotivated on a particular day, but then I know after I've worked out or after I've had some sort of movement, I'll feel so much better. I think you'll only know what you're missing until you feel it, right?
Exactly.
So once you actually start exercising and you get that sort of, is it dopamine? Just like this sort of, is it dopamine? It's the hormone.
Endorphin.
Endorphin. That's the one that makes you feel
endorphin.
happy, right? Afterwards, after your workout. If you experience that, that's going to keep pushing you to go to the gym more because you're like, I want to feel that.
It's that positive feedback loop of you go to the gym, you work out, you feel good, and that connection is what reinforces the habit of going to the gym again and again. So I think.
And also having a goal, like for example, if you're into running and you have like booked a marathon or you're doing like a high rocks or something like that, if you have like something in as a goal, that will also push you to actually exercise because you know you've got to exercise, train for that.
Yeah.
Even when you're not feeling as motivated.
I feel like I can relate to that in the sense that, so for me, my personal fitness goal at the moment is just looking at trying to just become stronger so I can like play football in a more of an aggressive, powerful way. So some of the things that I'm working on at the moment is just trying to get more compound lifts in. So I'm training my whole body and it requires less isolation work at the moment. So I'd say you have to tailor your goals, like you said, for whatever you want to do. So some workouts you might have to do like a lot of isolation work to train every single muscle. Sometimes you might need to work a bit more functional work, so you're working your whole body in terms of movement. But yeah, so building on what you said about the positive feeling, I think it's really important to start slow and add in workouts, or there might be certain exercises you just don't like at all. Like, it just doesn't feel right. So you've got to try and experiment and see which exercises work best for you, which doesn't, and just try and just constantly tinker and change. Not too much, but over like a 6-week period, and see you can have a look and say, look, this doesn't work, but this does, and then just change it every now and then.
Yeah. In recent years, I would say there's a lot more discourse online about it. There's so much more influencers.
Too many opinions,
lots of influencers popping up, like fitness influencers. Do you think, as a society, we are now more focused on aesthetics and not function? And not too much on function, sorry, I should say.
I think so. I think a lot of people generally just want to go to the gym just to look better, which, I mean, it's not, I don't disagree with that notion at all, but I think it's equally as important to prioritize your health and your well-being as a reason to go to the gym. So I don't think it should be the only reason why you're going to the gym. I think they go hand in hand. Like, okay, you want to look better, but you also want to feel better about yourself. So it's a way of almost building like self-confidence. I think that is a point we can get onto in terms of, is there an ideal way of looking in this modern day and age? But I think the question really is, I think there's not enough people going to the gym. I feel like a lot of people kind of are following this idea of being happy with themselves the way they are, but actually sometimes I think being constantly satisfied of, okay, just not doing any exercise is fine, is incorrect.
It's interesting. Because I feel like I'm almost on the other side where there's too much people going to the gym and majority, okay, this is a bit controversial, but I would say majority, but most, like, I have been to the gym and I've seen people who genuinely don't know what they're doing. They'll be on machines and they don't know what they're doing. And I was in that position once and thankfully there were people around me to help me, but like, it's almost sort of societal pressure that you need to go to the gym. But once they get there, it's like, well, what do I do?
Do you think there's enough people saying the right things? Or is it just a load of information? Just not being able to process enough?
I think there's so much out there though. The amount of information there is about fitness. I mean, I get it. It's like a whole world in itself, right?
Yeah, you have so many like fitness coaches.
Exactly. And
influencers, right?
It's just picking the ones, it's just filtering through the ones that are saying the right stuff and the ones that are not. Like, for example, you would come across TikToks or Instagram reels are like, oh, do this and you'll get like abs within like 8 weeks.
Yeah, see, that's very unrealistic because it took me 10 years to get mine.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, you can clearly see they're like really targeting certain people, right?
Yeah.
But then also from the flip side of it, as a person who is consuming that sort of social media, it's like, I do get that kind of mindset where people want to see results fast. So I can understand why they're building such a big following base, because people do want to see results fast in this age that we're living in. Everyone wants everything to happen fast, and that includes fitness too. But I think it's not.
So building on what you've just said, I think people need to understand that fitness and building that sort of experience takes time. I think for anyone that's listening who has just started out or is a beginner themselves, I think the biggest thing you can do to yourself is be more self-appreciative. Like, the fact that you're even thinking about going to the gym is such an amazing idea. Follow through with it. Do your own research. I would say stick to something that's really basic and simple, and then you can start consuming, not too much. Just have a look online for things that are what you're doing currently, what you can do to improve what you're doing. And over time, and talking to people at the gym who are experts or have built their physique. And normally that's when you can tell if they've done the training, because it's not just training. It's also part of their diet. It's also part of their sleep. It's also what type of workouts they're doing for their body. So you can gain an idea and an insight. But I agree. I think if you're getting into fitness to get a six-pack within a month, it's not realistic. It's those unrealistic expectations that cause this sort of negative opinion, because you don't see the result, you get disappointed, and you start hating yourself and you start criticizing yourself because it's not working.
Yeah.
So I'd say biggest thing people need to be wary of when you are getting into fitness is just be more patient, be more caring about yourself, and don't rush the process, because it's such a nice feeling to when you realize especially when you document it, for example. I think when you look back at your progress, you'll see how far you've come, and that's the biggest success.
Yeah,
is how far you've come, rather than not looking at other people.
I think just to pick up on that last point that you said about learning from other people and them doing exercises for their type of bodies, right?
Yeah.
One positive, I'd say pro about social media is that I've now started to look at fitness influencers who actually have the same type of body as I have.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think initially at the start, when I was looking at through all of this social media, it was like, wow, that person looks good. And like, obviously there is aesthetics do come into it. It's like, oh, well, that person look good. I'll try and follow what they do. And because I'm of a certain type body, that's just not attainable for me. And so now I've started, following people who do have my type of body, and I'm starting to see results. So it's just tailoring what
works for you.
What works for you, exactly. So you said about other stuff that you also need to think about when you're looking into fitness, right? Like sleep, diet. So picking up on diet, how do you think diet plays into fitness? Do you think it's equally as important as, working out or going to the gym and things like that?
I would suggest, the biggest thing I've learned over the last 2 or 3 years is that my diet is way more important than the fitness, I think. Because I think I'm lucky and I'm privileged enough to have got to a point where my body fat is quite low. I'm quite strong because I've done a lot of body weight exercises. Guys, that's another thing for the beginners, actually. The best way to start would be to master your body weight before you start pushing weights. So going back to the point, I did a lot of body weight exercises, push-ups, sit-ups, squats, like body weight squats. And I've noticed I've always maintained the same frame / same physique, but I've never actually got bigger, apart from there's a small period of time at uni when I prioritized gym and my food. And that was probably the best part where I saw the most progress, when I purely focus on getting as much protein that I need. I think there's a conversion where it's 1.6 grams per kilogram body weight. So if you multiply that to your body weight, that's how much protein you need to intake.
I think it says 1 for every 1 pound of your weight.
This
is American.
So the metric.
It might be the same.
Yeah.
But for every pound of your body weight, you should be eating a gram of protein.
Yeah. So, and since I did that, I think I physically saw the changes. Like, I was doing the same amount of work. I think I was training still 4 times a week in the gym. But my diet had flipped, so I got a lot more protein and a lot more carbs in. I did gain a lot of muscle mass for sure. And my body fat did go up as well. But I still felt good because I was still eating somewhat healthy as well.
Yeah.
And then since I haven't really been able to recapture that same amount of diet, like that same correct diet I was following. So getting that protein has been difficult since. So that is my target, is to try and fix how much protein I'm getting and how much macros I'm getting. But I definitely think there's an 80-20 split.
Sure.
20% workout, 80% diet. If you get the diet right, that naturally fixes your mood, your health already. Then it's just about applying that extra bit to push on.
Yeah. I think diet is so important to your sort of workout. I think I've listened to a couple of podcasts myself, and one thing that I picked up a lot of people saying is you can't out-train a bad diet. So no matter how much you train, you can train like 7 times a week, but if you're eating shit, you're never going to see the results. So, and again, protein intake, that's like a big, again, I wasn't educated about fitness generally.
Mm-hmm.
And then I guess diet specifically, I just didn't know anything about. And it's only recently that people really started to look into like nutrition, diet, things that you should be consuming. And I guess generally just clean eating, that's become a bigger thing now as well. So, sometimes I really do struggle with like hitting my protein intake, because now it's a case of like looking at everything you're eating is like, oh, how much grams of protein does it is? If it's not really protein, or if it doesn't have any protein, it's like, well, should I really be eating it?
Yeah.
Because then
I think you're going to allow yourself, before you carry on, I think you can allow yourself to like have some like snacks. I don't want to say in moderation, because I also believe that you have to fully focus on what you're trying to do and what is right for your goals with the odd occasion, rather than if you're having like 80% like focus and 20%, I would rather say 90% focus and then 10%, like something small. So it's not like it will completely derail you.
That's a good question. That leads me to a good question. Do you believe in having like cheat days or cheat meals?
I'll be honest, I'll be lying if I said I didn't. Purely because I feel like I also need the odd occasion to just be more stress-free and relaxed. I'm generally quite a healthy eater, I would say. Like I don't eat too much junk, but if I am going out with friends or whatever, I don't mind getting a Coke now and then. But I think it's important to satisfy your cravings at some point, but not overfeed it.
Yeah.
If you start overfeeding your cravings, that's when you start derailing your diet, then your lifestyle, your mood drops. That's when it becomes a bit more difficult to recover the position.
Yeah, I think it's a balance, right? Like no one's telling you not to eat a cookie. You can eat a cookie like every so often, but not to the point where, again, like you said, it really derails your diet. And I actually think like a lot of people think, oh, let me just cut out sugar, for example, like just entirely. But then that's going to come back like 10 times worse. And you're just going to like binge eat or like a bunch of junk food one day, right? And then that's what's the point of you cutting out all the sugar if you've just eaten so much and all of it in one go. So actually eating like a bit of sugar here and there is fine. It's a fine balance, and you're not always going to get it right. And you shouldn't be discouraged if you do, fall off one day.
The ability to bounce back is really important.
Exactly.
If you do mess up one day, as long as you acknowledge it and don't like start lying to yourself about it, that's when you go into a downward spiral. So I think understanding that you do make a mistake, but it's the ability to bounce back and be resilient and go, right, okay, I made a mistake yesterday. New day, go again.
Yeah, I think it helps if you have like a support system around you to like of people to help hold you accountable for it as well. Like if you have people who are working out similarly in your friendship group or in your family, and they're going through the same sort of fitness journey, you can hold each other accountable. And like 100%. Just check on each other how the fitness journey is going. You can go to the gym together.
Yeah,
I think that really helps. Which brings me on to my next question. Do you find it better to train solo or with other people?
Oh my days. Me personally, I like training by myself. I think it's the only time I get away from a hectic schedule. So only time I get a bit of a break. Only time I can listen to podcasts, music, anything that's kind of just fires me up, just gets me going. I don't mind the odd occasional workout with my friends or whatever, but I think if I want to zone in and just lock everything out of my head, has to be by myself. I think it's the most time I get 100% focus on my own end. So then I can treat myself and make sure I'm good. So then I can be good for family, friends, etc. and do well in my work. So I think that having that focus is really focus time for you alone is really important for me. But I think other people might benefit from having someone that can challenge them. I think I could benefit from that also. But at the moment, I've not had any issues with training by myself. And I don't feel like I need any external push at this moment in time. Because I feel like I'm quite self-motivated.
I think different people train differently, right? And, your schedules might not always line up to work out with someone else.
Yeah.
So there will be times that you might have to train solo, but some people just work out more effectively with a partner or like being in a class, whereas as opposed to going to the gym, right, where you're just training by yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It really depends from person to person. I think me personally, it kind of gets a little bit boring when you're training solo sometimes.
By yourself.
Yeah. I think having a good mix of like maybe an odd class here and there or going to the gym with my friend really helps to stay motivated and keep on going to the gym. For me personally, that's how I see it.
I would agree, to be fair. I think the classes idea is an interesting point because I don't train, because I do, my gym sessions I do by myself with the odd occasional session with a friend. But having having the football sessions in the evening is also a good way for me to socially interact with other people and like talk to everyone. So it's still a workout, but you're just still training with other people.
Yeah.
But then the actual gym specific stuff, you can do by yourself, I think. But that's to a point, because I used to have a training partner when I was younger. And then it just got to a point where I think I just got to the grips of it quite quickly. I knew what I was doing. I had the resources available to just look up certain things I wanted to do and wanted to learn about. And then I just practiced as I went along, had some corrections along the way. And yeah, I think I just built the sort of the regimen of what kind of training split I worked for me. Speaking of training splits, my question is, what workout styles and splits have you tried and what has worked best for you? So I've listed a couple of examples here. I've got push-pull legs, high intensity interval training like cardio, and kettlebells only. So that's like 3 examples. You could give me as many as you want to.
I mean,
or whatever's worked for you.
I wouldn't say I've tried like a whole load. At the moment, like I said, I've been focused on weight training, but in the past I have done sort of HIIT classes. HIIT classes is a bit of a I have a love-hate relationship with.
Mm-hmm.
I used to hate doing anything sort of cardio related, but I did like sort of the functional training and like doing sort of different exercises back to back. And there was a phase that I really liked it, and then I fell off again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, at the moment I haven't really incorporated cardio as much, so pretty much weight training. Pilates is really good for me at the moment as well, because it's given me, like, it's helped me in so many other ways, like just building more flexibility, helping me tone up a bit more. I think just like general mobility, like there's certain exercises that you do in Pilates that you feel different muscles and you're like, wow, I've never felt that before. This is great.
Yeah.
And it really targets the whole body. Whereas when you go into the gym, for example, you wouldn't necessarily do like a whole body workout.
Yeah.
You just like target certain muscles. You do like a glute day or like I don't know, a shoulders day or something like that. It's very like targeted workout, whereas this is whole body.
Yeah. I've got 2 questions for you from based off that, what
Sure.
you've just said. Number 1, how important is mobility? Because I get told off for this for not doing it. How important is mobility?
Mobility is so important because like you can get wham, right? Yeah. You can get big, but if you're not able to like do just simple tasks of like, I don't know, I can't think of an example from the top of my head, but it's like, there's no point in building muscle if you're not mobile and you're not functioning, like you're not able to do certain day-to-day activities. What's the point? Again, like you're just purely focused on aesthetics in my point of view.
Aesthetics and strength, if anything. Yeah.
You just strength and...
But the strength also includes in your strength in your joints. Like if you're not working the joints, you're going to feel it when you're walking and you can't even walk. But
100%.
You can't be built like a tree, but you can't walk. That's not great, is it?
Yeah.
The second question was, do you think there's a sort of a stigma around men doing Pilates? Have you seen any men doing Pilates?
That's an interesting question. So in the time that I've taken classes, and again, I've kind of dropped off a little bit and then went back on. So I haven't like consistently taken Pilates classes. But in the time that I have been to them, I would say I've only seen about 3 men.
Wow. How long have you done Pilates class for? Like on even if it's from your start to now?
Coming up 2 years, I'd say. Even longer. Yeah,
Would you recommend it?
100%. I think the men that I've even seen the Pilates classes, they were told by their like physio to come because I assume they must have had an injury, and Pilates is really good to like retrain muscles and do sort of some basic movements before, as alongside your sort of physio, right?
Yeah.
So it's not like they really wanted to come to Pilates, but they've just
they've come as a form of rehab, which is quite interesting. Or they would
come with their girlfriend who probably dragged them along.
Yeah.
So there was like I feel like previously there's been a big stigma about it of like men doing Pilates, but again, it's not like a women's only.
Yeah. But I think you see a lot more women going to Pilates classes, but not enough men going to it. Hence probably why there's a bit of a stigma, probably. But I'm not, I would say, against going Pilates. I just haven't had the opportunity to do it. At some point, I might have to give it a go.
Yeah. I think there's a whole sort of assumption that it's sort of low impact movement. You don't really do much. It's almost stretching.
Yeah.
Not the case. Not the case at all. Like you're genuinely I have seen like strong men try Pilates and just be humbled by how intense it is. Because they're like, oh, it must be just, no, it's not.
It's not.
It's not. It really isn't. So to anyone watching, I really recommend, if you haven't tried Pilates, please try it. It's not just like a workout for women, and it's not just like a soft workout. It really does challenge you. Obviously there's different levels at it, so I wouldn't recommend going to like advanced classes. Try and go to beginner's class. And I would say if you go to class with like a good instructor, you'd really enjoy it. Having said that, would you try a Pilates class?
Eventually, not now.
Right.
Not now.
And why is that?
It's just I just need to find a way of integrating it into my current. It might have to be one of those days where I have a mobility day that's separate.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to try. I don't have any negative qualms against it. Just haven't had the opportunity to try it as of yet. But it will be probably in the works at some point.
Sure. I mean, even if it's just one class, at least you've tried it and you know how it is. So, question back at you. What workout styles or splits have you tried? And what has worked best for you?
Well, based off the examples I listed here, I've tried push-pull legs. I've tried upper-lower. So that's upper-lower break, upper-lower break. I've tried push-pull legs, break, push-pull legs, break. I've also tried kettlebells only for a bit and like just dumbbells only. And I feel like the most progress I made was doing more compound lifts, like upper body. So like bench press, squat, deadlift, shoulder press, pull-ups, anything that involves whole body and like functional movements for sure. Isolation's all well and good. Oh, for example, the good example is one of my weakest point in my body is my shoulders. Not how defined it is, but just the width and how the size of the shoulders. So all I did for about 2-3 weeks was about just non-stop shoulders, twice a week minimum. And I saw the biggest improvement in my shoulders width. And the way I just stood, my posture improved a lot as well. So definitely doing more compound lifts together. Alternating days, so a combination of upper and lower. So upper, lower, and then maybe do some cardio towards the end of the week, and then you take a rest day, or could be the mobility day, like you said.
Yeah.
So I think for me, the best one that's worked the most was doing compound lifts, keeping my upper bodies on my upper body, so like bench, shoulder press, pull-ups on one day, then do squats and deadlifts next day, alternate it, and then you do your cardio throughout the rest. So you give your whole body a bit of a rest, but you're also training your cardiovascular health as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've tried a lot.
Yeah. Damn, I have to.
I think that just sort of puts fitness in like a nutshell, right? Like just keep trying, keep experimenting.
Experiment.
Find out what works for you and a split that works for you. And I guess you'll see people around you who will also be doing their fitness journey, and it might seem like, they're doing different stuff to you, or they might seem so far ahead, but they might have been training for, 5 years and you've only just started. So
yeah,
I also just don't try not to compare yourself with other people, because that can also lead you down a downward spiral, right?
100%. I think the whole idea of comparison is a big thing. Regardless of what topic, don't compare yourself to other people, because they're at different points in their career. What you do at level 0 is not what someone at level 20 would be doing.
Different points in their career.
Yeah. Or fitness even. No, it could be anything.
Oh, I see. Okay. You're talking about other
comparison
topics.
in general.
Right.
For the topic of fitness, someone might be working out for like 15 years, but you were the first time in the gym. You wouldn't do something that someone who's been in the gym for 15 years would be doing.
Yeah.
So if there's any key takeaways from this, I would say be patient, with yourself, because there are going to be a lot of learning points, learning curves you're going to be experiencing. Number 2, be curious, try and learn off other people, see what other people do, test it out, and don't be afraid to experiment. Not just with your methods, but with other people's methods, and try and get as much insight and knowledge from people that are better than you. I think that's the only way you can improve. If you're looking at people to compare yourself, I think it's a healthy way of comparing against people that are better than you, but do it in a way such that, oh, okay, he's doing this. Let me try this. Does it work for me? Yeah. If it works, keep it. If not, leave it. Try something new. I think people are too hung up on the idea of, oh, but it doesn't work. Oh, but it doesn't work. But just try it. It's there for you. Just give it a go.
And that brings us to our last question. What's one fitness mistake you've made and what did you do that?
All of those three, what I just mentioned. Try not being curious enough, not being expansive and coming out of my comfort zone a little bit. And my diet. I think my diet is probably the biggest mistake I have made up until this point. Or well, at least I've acknowledged it loud that my diet is my biggest thing I need to look to improve on. But no matter, I shouldn't change the workouts too much. If I've got one that works for me, I'll stick to it. Maybe adapt it to improve. But I think definitely improve my diet a bit more, see where it goes. Try and take on more feedback from experts or anyone that you see has been doing it for a very long time. And look to learn, look to be curious.
There's some really good advice. Are you going to ask me the same question?
So I'm going to flip it on you.
Right.
What mistake have you overcome or learned from that you think you've made?
I think to a certain extent, we're all, like you said, we're all experimenting. We're all trying to figure it out, right? No one knows, like, they know what it works for them, but there's no one
right answer.
One size fits all answer to it, right?
Yeah.
So, I think at the very start, I had a bit of imposter syndrome, I would say. Like
we touched on that last week.
I was going to say, we talked about that in the work episode, so if you haven't watched it, go watch that. But, again, it applies to fitness as well. Like when I first went to the gym, I was like, wow, I really don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And it's, again, accepting that you are not going to be an expert right off the bat. Like there's so much education around it as well. Like, you're not just going to pick things up straight away. So really talking to other people, like you said. So yeah, I think that's what I'd say. Just, no one really cares.
We just got interrupted because they're closing the now. That's why we looked over.
No one's looking at you at the gym. Just do your own thing and you'll figure it out.
You'll be fine. You'll figure it out. Just be willing and open to learn.
Yes. Okay. So